Coach Andrea here. We're gonna take you through a nice, quick burn workout. This is gonna incorporate every part of your body. We're gonna move through some standing things, but down to seated on our back, like just everything, 360 degrees around the body. So this is going to get you fired up. You're gonna feel like you got an hour workout in 30 minutes. Still focusing on control and still getting some stretching in there. Okay, so we're gonna start standing, and then I want you to turn so you're lengthwise on your mat, and I want you to find this really nice big posture. So in some of the other videos you may have seen saw seated. We're actually going to do saw standing. So from here, let's just working on the hinge first. But before we get going, let's just give ourselves a moment to just kind of drop in, kind of assess where we're at, take a couple nice big deep breaths. That nice wide posture. You don't have to be as wide as I am, but it should make you feel pretty secure, especially if you're closing your eyes for balance. Good. Now, with those legs apart, about a leg length between, you're going to slightly turn, and I'm talking slight turn out through the toes. Now, let's bring the hands onto the hips, and we're going to work on just shifting the sit bones back and the chest forward. So let's stop just maybe at like a 45. I don't need you to take it to 90 quite yet. And then I'll turn the other way too so you can see how my back is. But we're just folding forward at the hips. And what you should feel is a nice glute length, hamstring length. And I want you to think about keeping those shoulder blades pulled back and into the spine, almost like you're trying to pinch a pencil gently between the shoulder blades. And notice now I'm starting to take it a little bit below 90, and you can start to slowly work into maybe a wide leg forward fold. Okay, I'm gonna turn back this way. And then once we find the depth that's good for you and you can just kind of hang there, we're gonna go ahead and let the hands come around to the small of the back. You're gonna feel your shoulders roll forward here for a moment. Now, you can either lace the fingers together or you can grab a wrist, either way, but we're gonna pull the hands up towards the ceiling. This is a nice stretch for the front of the shoulders, the chest. You're drawing the shoulders down and in. So that's a big thing, not just letting the shoulders roll forward here as we pull up, but really squeeze the shoulders down and in. And then from there, let the hands come to the ground. And then we're gonna walk our right hand over to the outside of the left foot. And this is just gonna prep us for that standing saw. And then we're gonna walk across the center, over to the right. Good, and then back to the center. Now from here, I want you to soft bend the knees, and they can even be a bigger bend. Take your hands to your hips, using your hips here, so I don't want you rounding your back at all. I want you to press your hips forward because that's gonna be what's at the meat of our saw. So now with our arms out, palms down, we're gonna rotate over to the right side, trying to keep the arms as long as you can, then come back to the center. So as I rotate, trying to keep this right hip from rotating over to the left, and you're just rotating from this midline up. Now we're gonna add the dive with it, or the hinge. So as I rotate, I'm gonna take my left hand to my right foot, and I'm gonna reach that arm up towards the side, towards the sky, and then I'm gonna hinge back up. So that's key, that we're moving from the hips here and not from our back or our waistline, okay? Now we can get a little more technical with it. So as we come up, I want you to squeeze your butt, squeeze your belly at the top. So we wanna think butt and belly engaged at the top, and then we get that length and rotation at the bottom. This is such a feel good. I love the standing saw variation. And if you have the shoulder mobility and you can kind of flip that palm around, that's some nice internal rotation there, come back up. One more each side. So we should get 4 to 5 on each side. Breathe where it feels good here. I like to inhale to go down, exhale to come up. Good. Now from here, let's heel toe it in. We're gonna bring those feet so they're hip width. one thing I forgot to say at the beginning, I apologize, so if you have to pause it and go get a ball or a towel, we will be using that a little bit in the video too. So if you've got a ball or towel, we're gonna grab it right now, we're gonna put it between the lower legs, so somewhere below the knees, above the ankles is gonna work. So from here, we want to find our footing. I want you, without letting yourself propel forward, try thinking of a string right at the crown of the head, and you're just lifting those heels up, squeezing into the ball, and then rolling back down. It's gonna take you a couple, but you wanna drop right down through the center of the foot, squeeze into that ball. Core's tight, ribs are down, and we're gonna do a set of 8 of these. So here's 3, good, 4, 5, 6, and I'm feeling those inner thighs already. I hope you are too. 7, one more. Now let's keep the heels up here if we can. Take your hands heart center, so that works best for me, but maybe your hands need to be out to the side, either way. But I'm gonna start to sit back into this heel lifted chair. You are gonna go as low as you can. Now, the nice thing about heel lifted is it kind of helps us with the ankle so we can get into that squat a little bit lower, not letting the knees come too far over the toes. Now, option to just stay here, squeeze into the bar, or we can start to pulse. And burn is all about getting in a position, holding it. You want to come out of it because that burns, but you keep breathing through it. And you've got 5 more pulses left. 4, 3, 2, 1. Heels down and come all the way back up. Nice job. All right, that ball is going to come out. We're going to get to the back end of the mat. We're going to do 1 inchworm to come down onto our bellies. So from this position, tuck the chin down to the chest. Let the arms be like dead weight, and I kind of like to shake them out sometimes, almost like a rag doll. Slowly coming in. We've already been in forward fold, but the legs were wider, so now we're here with the legs a little closer. We're gonna walk ourselves all the way out to a quick plank, not staying there long, and then you're gonna slowly lower yourself to the ground. Now, from here, we're gonna keep that ball close by, because we'll use it in a moment. I want you to take and fold your arms right at the head and let your head just rest here. From this position, I want you to draw the shoulder blades down and in. I want you to press the pubic bone into the mat and try to think about lifting the belly away from the mat. Now, shoulders are tight into the spine. We're just going to lift up the arms, not my legs, and keep my head cemented down onto my hands and then lowering as we inhale. So exhale, lift, and it's not a whole lot that you're gonna get. So don't really try to crank on your back here. It's just a gentle lift up while reaching the legs back behind you long. We're gonna do 6 of these, so that was 3. Exhale, lift 4, inhale, lower. Exhale, lift 5, inhale, lower. Now exhale, lift 6. Remove the arms from the head, bring them out to a T, and then squeeze the legs together. So we're now in this kind of like Superman-ish position. So palms to the ground, draw the shoulders down and in. Now I'm gonna open my arms. I'm gonna bring my hands to my hips as my legs open, and then I'm gonna close my legs as my arms come back together, and we just have 4 of these. So exhale, we pull into the center. Keep the chin tucked like you're holding that tennis ball. So that way you're not cranking on your neck either. We wanna keep nice neutral spine, gentle extension. Last one. All the way in and out, good. Now from here, you're gonna take your ball, and if you find that you end up cramping with this or it's just too much, you don't have to use the ball, okay? Just pretend. You're gonna put it between your ankles or your heels, okay? Now, from here, we're gonna fold those hands back on the mat with our head resting on our hands. I want you to give that ball a little squeeze so the knees draw center. Now from here, we're gonna kick our butt with like our heel with our butt, 1, 2, and then we're gonna reach the legs long and squeeze into the ball. So we're gonna bend, pulse 2 times, and then reach long. So it's almost like when we do double knee stretch, but we're on our belly this time. And prone work for adults, super important. It's like, I call it like adult tummy time, because babies need to strengthen their spine as they're learning to crawl and walk, and adults need to reverse the effects of gravity. So pulling ourselves back into that nice posture. We've got 3 to go. We're doing 8 of these. Now, if you want a little more challenge, try taking the hands out to the side, lifting the chest, and then lowering the chest and lowering the arms as the legs reach out. So, and I'm reaching out. I'm not necessarily dropping them. So if that's too much coordination for you, I get it. You can just hold here. Okay, 2, reach, last 1. You should feel a lot of glutes, a lot of hamstrings, and a lot of inner thighs. And it's kind of like lower glutes. From here, press your hips back to your heels, and you can even just sit on the ball. That feels kind of nice. And then we're going to go ahead and switch into a side lying position. So you're going to grab that ball, you're going to take it with you, and it's going to go between the ankles again. So if you have enough coordination to just switch onto the side, keep the ball there, kudos to you. So we're going to make a little pillow with our left bicep. I'm going to pull away from the ground. So the key here is just not to sink into the ground. Like this upper part towards the ceiling shouldn't look like a C. You should be really drawn in. Now I'm going to flex my ankles, bring my toes back towards me, squeeze the ball. I'm just going to lift both legs off the ground without letting myself sink into the ground through the torso. And we're going to do 8 of these. So as we exhale, lift, inhale, lower. Now you are more than welcome to keep this top hand down here for support, but if you want to try to challenge yourself, you can lift that top arm. We've got 3 to go. 3, 2, and 1. Nice. Now we're going to draw that ball up to the knees, and we're going to work through reverse clams. So clams traditionally are going to hit like those low, deep hip rotators, piriformis, all that stuff. A lot of times those are already really active on people. So we need to kind of work the internal rotators of the hip to really feel some relief. So if you're someone who gets a lot of like deep hip pain, you're going to want to probably cool it on some of the clam stuff, and we're going to work more towards this angle. So we're going to bring our knees a little below 90, okay? Still pulling away from the ground. We're going to squeeze the ball, and we're going to reach that heel up towards the ceiling, rocking the knee down into the ball, and then take it back down. So this may be enough resistance for you, but if if this feels pretty easy, we're going to do about 12 of these. If you have a resistance band at home, you can loop it around your ankles or the bottom of the feet to make it a little more challenging, okay? Because first, when we're just working on the motion, we don't really need to load outside of just the weight of the body, but then as we get stronger, we've got to load that a little bit, okay? So 6 to go. You want to use your exhale. I mean, and it's hard enough. You're working your core here too by just pulling up off of the mat. Good. 3 more. 3, 2, last 1. Now we're going to keep that ball between the knees. I'm going to prop up to the left forearm, and we are going to, actually this ball's a little big for that, so we'll keep that ball out, and we're just going to prop up to our side plank hold here. Don't roll away, ball. Okay, side plank hold. Now you can have that bottom knee down if you need a little bit more support. So that would just look like this. That knee's down, this leg's still reaching. You want to squeeze your glutes. You want to tuck your hips under. You want to press forward so our spine's in a nice neutral line. There's no twisting happening. Come back up here. Now, from here, like we were threading the needle, we're going to rotate around to the other side, and we're going to hold here. And I want you to think about still, you can either stack or stagger the feet. Stacking them makes it a little more challenging. Squeezing the shoulder blades together, pressing the hip forward, squeezing the glutes. And then we're going to rotate back to the right side. So left arm comes down. We're going to do this 3 times. Each time I won't hold it as long. So we'll be here for 3, 2, 1. Threading that needle, plank through the center, opening back up. 3, 2, 1. Rotating back through the center, open up. This is my 3rd one, your 3rd one, done here. Good, and then as we rotate back to the other side, we're gonna be lowering down and then just starting on that side. So I'll probably keep my back to you so you can see alignment. We're gonna take that ball back between the ankles, actually, yep, and then we're gonna lay down. Good, okay, so first things first, make that little pillow with your ear. with your bicep, pull away from the ground, balls between the ankles, flex and pull those toes back towards you, squeeze the ball, and then as you exhale, I want you to lift. Inhale, I want you to lower. Okay, so that left hand can stay on the mat for support, or we're gonna lift and reach it up, and you're just pulling everything to the center. So I'm still squeezing my shoulder blades together. Pretty challenging. We've got 8, so 4 more to go. So lift 4, 3, 2, go ahead, last one. All right, now moving that ball between the knees, still pulling away from the ground. Pull the knees into 90, pivot that, rotate that hip in, the knee pivots down into the ball, heel up. So this action happens at the hip. The rest of the leg moves in response to what that femur is doing in the hip. Again, 12 of these. So if you put your hands like mine are, kind of like on that front hip pocket, you should feel those muscles kind of push into your fingers as your hip rotates. And those are your hip internal rotators. Good, 6 more. 6, losing my ball. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice job. Okay, so from here, we're gonna move over into a quadruped position. Now, in one of the Connect videos that I did, we were doing some like kneeling hydrants here. So now we're just gonna take that up a notch, and we're still gonna do hydrants, but we're gonna hover. So if you're not quite ready for that, no problem, keep the knees down. First things first, let's get active here. So we're gonna pull the shoulders down, pull the face away from the ground, because a lot of times we drop our head. So I want you to tuck that chin again. Always think of like holding like a tennis ball or an orange or something under your chin. And then we're gonna hover those knees up and hold. Now from here, I'm keeping grounded through my left side. I'm not letting anything rotate. I'm just picking that right leg up to the side, back down. We're just gonna do 6. That's 2, 3, this really takes it up a notch. This is much harder. 4, 5, 6, good. Try not to set the knees down. Right foot goes down, left lifts up, excuse me. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now keep those knees hovered, stay with me. Walk the hands out so they're in front of the shoulders, and then straighten the legs. You may have to walk your heels in or feet in just a little bit. Find relief in down dog. Pedal the feet. Now from this down dog, we're gonna bend the knees, hover them off the mat. Shoulders should be over the wrist. Again, you may have to adjust in. You'll find the perfect positioning after the first couple. It's always just feeling it out. Inhale, lengthen into your down dog. Exhale, back to that hover position. So what are we feeling here? We're feeling shoulders, you're feeling core, you're gonna feel a lot of your legs too. Good, we're gonna do 6, so we've got 3 to go. 3, 2, and 1. Now I want you to go back up into down dog. From here, we're gonna kick that right leg up towards the ceiling while we send that left heel down. So we're still going to do a shift of sorts, but this time we're going to take this right ankle, connect it behind the left knee, squeeze forward, and we're going to hold for 3, 2, 1. We're going to sweep back up, reaching that leg. We're doing this 3 times. Connect ankle to ankle. So we're in like a tripod position almost, but you're getting a lot of support by squeezing those inner thighs together. Pull that face away from the ground. I know you get tired. That face wants to move towards the ground. Okay, that was our 3rd one. So that right foot comes back down to the ground, pedal the feet. You can even take puppy dog if you need to. Lifting that left leg up towards the ceiling, pointing the toes. Shift forward, squeeze those inner thighs, shoulders over wrists, hold. Now, if you're feeling a little frisky and you want to add to this, you can lower into a push-up and then come back up and sweep that leg. That'll get you a really nice burn. Well, what the heck, we'll do 1 more. And then come all the way back up. That was the 3rd one. Nice job, guys. Come into quadruped for a quick child's pose. You can let those arms move back, grab the heels, shift a little side to side. Good, and then we're gonna flip over onto our backs. Okay, from here, we're gonna use this ball. We're gonna kind of build on some of the things from Connect that are like the basic, very classic Pilates movements, and we're gonna add a little element of challenge with being on the ball. Now, what is really nice about the ball is that it provides some nice support for your lower back. So in some ways, it's harder because your abs are already engaged because we're in a little bit of flexion here, so you can feel things deeper, but it gives you that really nice support for the lower back. So I like to do this when we're trying to get deeper into things or trying to find like a little bit of a deeper burn. So from here, we're gonna pick the feet up one at a time, and then you're just gonna hold. So first things first, you're gonna feel all that shaking and wiggling. And your goal is just to be as stable and still here on the ball as you can. This is building all these proprioceptors in the pelvis and the core, the ones closest to the spine, that tell us where we are in space, that catch us if we start to lose our balance. So this is really useful. Now from here, we're gonna kick those legs up. So this is gonna be kind of like a version of our single leg stretch. So we're gonna inhale, lower that left leg. And if you go too low like this, it's a nice stretch. We'll do that towards the end, but you're losing your center. Your ribs are flaring, so you're just hovering. Then exhale, bring it up. Inhale, so I should see barely any movement, or you should feel barely any movement on the ball, if at all. So inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. And if you notice, I don't really have my legs completely at 90, because if I do that, I'm really flexed forward. So neutral is gonna be a little bit more out here. Inhale, lower, exhale, lift. Now we're gonna take this up. We're gonna inhale, lower the other leg, exhale, lift the other leg, exhale, lift the other leg. Inhale, lower, lower, lift, lift. Inhale. Exhale. One more time, switching sides. Lower left first, right first, left first, right first, left. Now, let's challenge and lower left, lower right, and then lift both up through the center as we exhale. Lower left, lower right, inhale. Exhale, lift through the center. Now let's take both legs down together, inhale. Lift both legs up together, exhale. Inhale, lower down. Exhale, lift up, keep it going, 2 more. Inhale, we go down, staying connected to the spine, making sure that you're not coming into that total rectus domination. So we should feel a nice even contraction. Now here at the top, we can either hug the knees to the chest, you can set the feet down, make any adjustments you need to, swivel around. Pick those feet up when you're ready. We're gonna squeeze the heels together, knees wide for frog setup. Arms pressing down, triceps really active. Length through the back of the neck, we're gonna kick those legs out. So more at a 45 you can get, the more core you're gonna feel, but you have to do what works with your body. So if you get here and you're wiggling and you have no control, I want you to take those legs up just a little higher. You are not done with this movement until those legs are locked out, you're pressing the heels together, you're squeezing the inner thighs. We've got 5 to go for 8. 5, 4, 3, and I'm like really pulling my ribs down, lifting up low belly, 2, and 1. Good. Now draw your right knee toward your chest, put the left heel on the ground, and just really get a nice stretch through the front of the left hip. And then we're gonna turn this into bicycle. So again, kind of following and building from Connect. Good. Woo. So this is your time, taking these movements slower. We're waking up from like hibernation from winter, and we're just like reactivating, reacclimating, getting out there. Okay, so from here, we're gonna kick our right leg out, pull our left knee in, and then we're gonna switch. Left knee out, right knee in, and we're gonna start slow. And I want you pushing through your heels from these so you can really squeeze your quad, and you're thinking almost like the power and force, but with control, not choppy, that I would try to take to push through like a wooden board that was at my foot. Good. Now we can speed it up again without losing our center. So I don't want you to feel yourself rocking and moving around on that ball at all. So if moving up this pace for 8 makes that happen, let's lower it back down. Slow it back down. 2, 1, and then put those feet down, and then just kind of rock around a little bit on that ball, and then we're gonna pick up and done with the ball. Okay, so it can go to the side. From here, we're gonna go ahead and lift those feet, again, back to our tabletop. We're gonna reach our arms overhead. Take a nice big breath in, and then as you exhale, we're gonna curl up through the head, the neck, the chest. We're gonna reach the arms down by the sides. This is option 1. Let's do option 1 twice. Reach. Option 2, same movement through the upper body, except we reach the legs up to 90, pressing those arms to the mat. We'll do option 2 twice. Notice as I come back overhead, I'm not letting any part of my spine come off of the ground. Now, option 3, same thing, but we are gonna take it to a 45. So this is a much more challenging position. Legs are lower, chin is tucked, stay nice and pulled in. Good, let's do that one more time. Good. Now, finding 1, 2, or 3, that's where you're gonna live for this next, and we're moving into our 100. So that's 100 prep. So reaching the arms overhead, we can all start in position 1 and move into where we want to go. So take a nice big breath in. Exhale, find that position. Now, place the palms down, chin tucks. I want you to pretend that you're kind of pushing your arms in and out of like mud, where there's something where there's a lot of resistance. So you're kind of creating that in the body. Now the breath is gonna be in for 5, out for 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep it going. This is where it starts to burn. We're getting close to 50. If you have to tap out, you can draw the knees to the chest, but keep going if you can. 30 more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. And done. Nice job. Fold those knees to the chest. Little rock side to side. And then we're going to let those legs go all the way out on the mat. I want you to shake it out here for a second. And then get nice and long, okay? So I want you to push, even though we're saying long, I want you to push through the heels so the toes are up towards the ceiling. I want you to reach those arms back overhead, similar to what we're doing. Tuck the chin into the chest. And as you exhale, we're gonna roll up to the bottom of the shoulders and stop. And when you stop, I want you to look at your low belly. I wanna make sure you're not getting like a pooch, you're not getting that bread loaf, and then roll back down. Now, what to do if you were? So if you were seeing that, first thing I want you to do is think about really drawing the hips towards each other and zipping up, holding on to that before you roll up. You're gonna find more power and strength, drive down through the heels. So that's our one last check. Now from here, we're gonna roll ourselves all the way up to seated. So take that nice big breath in. Exhale, roll yourself all the way up. That first one, you may feel that you're using momentum a little bit. That's okay, we can work through it as we lower down controlled. So a slow descent. Tucking the tailbone, I'm staying open through my shoulders and my chest, but I'm starting to peel one vertebrae down at a time. Inhale, reaching these arms overhead. Exhale, tuck chin to chest, rolling up with lots of control. Now we're gonna add that little stretch forward towards the toes. So as I go forward, I'm gonna just think about pulling my belly button towards my spine, hollowing out, pulling the waistline back, then rebuilding tall. So this is a little variation from the classic version, and roll down. I like to find that length first before we roll down. I just find that it probably keeps us in better posture and core functioning. So tuck the chin to the chest, rolling up. Find that little reach forward, pulling that waistline back, and then find your posture and roll all the way down. Now we're gonna go up and we're gonna find our hot spot. So where throughout this movement does it feel the hardest? And we're gonna stay there. So take an inhale, exhale, roll up, find where it's hardest, stay there, okay? This is the burn. This is, you're in it. Okay, now from here, don't change anything, but move those arms up towards the ceiling and then back down. You may not be able to get your arms as high as mine, and that's okay. Just stay in the position through the torso. Keep the shape through the spine. Keep pulling the sternum and pubic bone towards each other while keeping the collarbone long. 2 more. Good, and then lift the chest, and this is where I'm asking for some endurance. Lift the chest, find your hinge. Now genie those arms, bend the knees softly, so you've got heels down, and then I want you to unwind the arms as you rotate to your left side, exhaling back to the center. Inhaling, opening and reaching, finding length, exhaling back to the center. Finding that good hinge. We're gonna do 1 more on each side. So back to your left. Notice this kind of mimics our saw at the beginning. Good. Perfect. Now from here, come all the way up. Send the belly towards the thighs. Let yourself just kind of collapse into this little ball. Now from here, we're gonna draw our heels and our knees in, okay? And we're gonna go into this little ball position. So go onto the ankles as low as you can. Rolling is really nice to end with and really nice to begin with, okay? Joseph said, rolling makes the spine supple and resistance against injury. And what he's talking about is just the adaptability, the mobility of the spine. So it feels nice as long as you don't have any kind of condition that keeps you from rolling. So finding our balance, this is work just to be here. We're going to inhale as we roll back. Exhale, we're gonna come up. So instead of rolling over to maybe like quadruped, we're gonna try to roll up to standing. Now feel free to use your hands there and just get up any way you can. So do about 5, and on that 5th one, big exhale, cross at the ankles and get yourself up to standing. Nice job. So like we started, we are gonna end. Not in a wide leg position, just about neutral, feet hip width apart. So let's find our posture. Close the eyes, feel the feet on the ground, feel the length through your spine. Everything should feel really turned on. Shoulders should be warm, hips, everything. We got it. Like I said, 360 degrees, 360 degrees. Let's take a nice big breath in, feel the belly, back and lungs and side fill. And then as you inhale for the 2nd time, we're gonna lace the fingers together overhead. We're gonna take one last stretch over to the left. Good. One last stretch over to the right. And then come back through the center. Lift the heart just a bit, just the slightest little back bend, and then come back up through the center. Let's bring the hands to our heart center. Take a nice big breath in, and I want you to just appreciate what your body did today. So I want you to just give yourself a little pat on the back, a little love. Feel that into the body, and then release. Nice work, guys. I hope you enjoyed as much as I did. See you next time.